to be educated, I've basically given you an outlet to understand the difference. So many of you fall in a category as sheep. And what I mean by that, you may speak about certain situations, but you lack preparing yourself for defense. Like you don't believe that this stuff is going on. And as much as you can pray, and as much as people can plead the blood of Jesus and everything, it still is very evident that these things do take place. And for this cause, the scriptures all talk about, that God teaches your fingers to fight. Now that's biblical. You can do a study in the word, and really look at a lot of the people that was in fights, that was leaders. There was leaders, there was kings, that God put in position, and then they would come up over a territory and they would fight the other opposing armies and stuff like that. So it was not, when Moses was chose, he led them in certain, when King David was chose against the Amalekites, it was nothing but, military strategies. And there was nothing but military strategies. Now, some people feel more comfortable in the New Testament, but we have to always refer back when times are going on. And in life, you gotta refer back to where it all was based at. So I would ponder a lot about the truths about something and speak less about what I know not of, unless I'm a part of something. Unless you have been effective member of an organization, 9 times out of 10, you got little or nothing to say, just realistically. If you ain't ever been in it, you just the outsider just thinking, this, that, and other, because you don't take no part in it. You're not a part of it. You haven't been to no conferences. You haven't spoken to the vice presidents and the presidents. You haven't spoken to the spokesperson people or any person that's a loyal defendant of their Second Amendment rights at that. So people get a misunderstanding. They've getting this misunderstanding, and it's gone abroad. Every time something happens, the pressure is put on the people who are making solutions and not making problems. In other words, to make a long story very short, we're not creating problems. We're creating solutions. We're creating solutions to the problems that have been created. And many people don't like that. They have become the problems. They make people think we offering solutions by what? By mimicking lies. I mean, an opposer, 9 times out of 10, I've heard people in the past that told me this, that, and the other about their opinions, about what they thought about the NRA organization. And I was like, man, you way off. You are clueless, when it comes to, the definition of what public safety is. You don't even know what that means, evidently, because public safety is not promoting terrorism. It's actually protecting a person from terrorism. You understand? Law and order also, is, not promoting terrorism, or criminalized organization or any form of racism in that at all. You don't find that there. Then also you have the national defense. So when we go to the national defense, people don't understand what the national defense is. The national defense is of, we are standing with the United States of America, and all the citizens who here. So we have the right to protect and serve our families, our communities, and everyone that's in need. That's defenseless. Whoever we find that's defenseless, we have the right to stand up and defend them as citizens. We're not practicing particularly terrorism, so we're there to, pretty much safeguard an individual from what they're going through, not to do anything otherwise. So I would, really, one of the basic things that you're going to do if you're a seeker of information, man, is basically become a member of an organization and get involved, you understand, and find out that there's no way possible if we're teaching people how to be law-abiding citizens that we'll teach them how to be unlawful citizens. That doesn't go together. We're teaching people how to be law-abiding citizens, meaning that 9 times out of 10, the NRA promotes that if you're trained to the certain point, you 9 times out of 10, you very seldomly find anybody that want to come to that direction. You normally wouldn't have to. They don't encourage it, but if it happens to happen, you're well equipped to do something. They're not pushing to, the first time something happened, make an attempt to do this, that, and other. They teach you how to have wise thinking concerning how to break down an assailant or a predator of even someone else or someone of a relative. You have the ability to decipher between those. And this is what we look to do more of. We look to encourage that people be more effective. At no particular point of this discussion did it promote any particular form of what other people think. I haven't read an article yet where they're promoting anything that other people, I'll be hearing them say. So my advice to someone that doesn't know and ain't doing anything, if you're not doing particularly nothing, you're talking to a person that is not just in the NRA organization, you understand, as a regular NRA member, but I'm also an NRA recruiter and I'm also an NRA carry guard member. So I'm doing not only one or two things, I'm doing all three. And from me being all three, I haven't heard of anything contrary of what I've spoken to you today, within your ears. I haven't seen nothing different take place. We're doing the opposite of what our opposers are saying. And these are people 9 times out of 10 who don't know there is real life issues going on where they are defenseless, and some of them can care less whether something happens to their surroundings and their loved ones and stuff like that. And it's deeper, take it from a person but when it came down to defend another person, I was there. I had the right, to defend myself because I knew what, grounds I was on. I knew my particular rights. So I knew if, an assailant or a potential predator was a threat to someone or somebody else that, needed assistance, then, we had to strategically do things. If they called upon us to do it, or if we felt that, hey, this situation requires lethal, this requires something to actually take, this requires some other work to take place. So anyhow, it's not the first thing that we're teaching. It might be the middle basis of what we're teaching, but we're not teaching terroristic tactics. We're not teaching people to be terrorists against the United States of America or any of the communities or any neighborhoods. And we're not encouraging people to go in schools and blow them up and stuff like that and shoot 17 kids, 13, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, and not even 1. So we're not doing that. We're not the ones that are in that. If we're dealing with, some people don't understand what is the definition of public safety. You understand? Public safety specifically means that you're keeping the public safe from harm. You understand? You're not the ones creating harm, but you're keeping them from harm. You understand? That's what public safety is. And so when people be saying stuff, I be like, man, you don't have no knowledge at all. You understand? And that's in any particular area. Public safety even goes to the fact of your own household. That is, your household is public. For you, if you have a family, that, you are the one, the defender of your ground. So we help law-abiding citizens like that, or people that may, after senseless shootings and home invasions and all this other mess, we take the time out to firmly train these individuals how to defend themselves or assist them in the defending themselves, because we're well equipped, whether, all sizes, ages, and backgrounds can be trained through the NRA Carry Guard training. You can be basically trained on how to be a law-abiding citizen and how to defend yourself in every particular situation. From, like, they had the theater shootings, we teach the basic fundamentals on that. We even have other courses that a person can take. So we teach the fundamentals of how to do that, and I'll even go to say, myself, I learned a lot of the stuff that I learned before I became an NRA member. You understand? It's just these things that they have taught me, have just increased my knowledge, seeing that I was born with the family that my father was military trained. My mother was military trained. My grandfather, everybody, is either in law enforcement or something like that. So everybody I know is either is in some type of major Uh,